Hello, it's Terry with CU Bands and Fans podcast, where musicians tell their story. And our music guest tonight is Jake Vaughn. And my apologies, doing this solo tonight because Zach's not able to co-host for this podcast. So we miss you, Zach. Um, all right, Jake, we've had a podcast with you before. It's been a few years ago. I'm even
Yeah,
thinking close to 2020.
it
Was it?
was around 2020 that happened. Yeah.
Yeah. And in that podcast, we went over a lot of things. That's where we really got to know you and where your music came from and
Yeah.
where you were heading and you were in, I think, a few different bands that really didn't pan out. Uh,
Yes.
you're basically kind of really it's you, right?
hmm
It's you're
Yes.
solo.
I'm a solo artist, but I still do drumming stuff. In a sense, for people who don't really didn't see the last one, I work with different members of different professional groups. So I worked with members of Tommy James Shondells, Frankie Valli, Four Seasons, the Cal Sills, and the list goes on. And I've been doing this since I was 15. So it was kind of like I started on an app called Vine and YouTube, well, Vine first, and then kind of went into YouTube. And then 2019 hit, and that's when everything went with BMI and all that, where they started taking videos down of mine and my friends. So I kind of lost that um, the videos that I did have, and I didn't have a backup drive for it, so it kind of stinks that happened. But
Yeah,
I'm still thankful that I got to do what I got to do, so which is nice.
yeah, yeah. And you're originally you're from Kankakee,
Yes, ma'am.
Illinois. Are you still in that area?
I am still in Kankakee. Yes, right now I'm in Cedar Lake. I'm dog sitting, but I'm still in. I go around from either Cedar Lake or Kankakee, which is nice.
All right, cool. Um, and one thing I think that really struck me the last time that we podcasted with you was your inspiration to the mental health community.
Mhm.
And then, and also, I think you had written a song. Didn't you write a
Yep.
song or something that they were using, but then that organization kind of dissolved?
Yeah, so I wrote a song called ADHD, and the backstory was I was in a band, and we were kind of at the time I was still touring, but I kind of wanted to go more into the local scene and kind of not really go fully out of the professional scene per se, but I wanted to do more in the local scene and help the local scene out with mental health and veterans organizations and stuff like that. So me and the band I was with called Instead of Tomorrow wrote a song called ADHD, and we all kind of wanted to talk about our experiences with ADHD and with mental health in general. And there was a mental health company that reached out to me and said, "Hey, I know you have a song. Is it okay if we used it?" So I gave them permission. They used it for all their campaigns and all that stuff. And when they were explaining ADHD, they used it. Then about, I want to say 20, around 20, like mid of 2020, they ended up dissolving because of they didn't have enough backing per se. So they had to kind of redesign, and now they do a lot with the veterans community, with veterans PTSD and mental health, and the
Awesome.
families, the civilian side of it too, which
Yeah,
is nice.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah, that's fantastic. And your absolute goal was that you wanted to inspire.
Mhm.
Um, is that still your goal?
Yes, 100% to inspire and kind of help the next generation of musicians have the tools that I never had as a musician. I had friends in them kind of and when I mean friends, like people I've worked with, my colleagues, kind of help me and give me advice, but it wasn't advice that I kind of understood as a musician. It was more like, oh yeah, well I did this and this didn't work for me. And that was it. So my goal was always if a musician needs help, they can reach out to me. Hey, I need help building a set list. I need help with production. I need help with lighting. I need help with this. I need help with that. I'm always open to help other people out, no matter what genre you are, or if you're original guy, cover guy, a little bit of both, you're this, you're that. I'm always willing to help out. So, which is, I like doing that. And that's most of my time now doing that. So,
Yeah, which is, we need more of that. Uh,
yeah.
and then also you had mentioned that Kevin from the Grand Illusion Anthem
Oh, I love him. Yes.
Styx tribute band. We had him on a podcast last week.
Yes.
So I didn't even realize that connection until I re-listened to the podcast we had with you a few years back. And I'm like, oh my God, we just did a podcast with Kevin. So
Oh, yeah.
how much of an inspiration and help was he to you?
So when I was I worked with the Bourbonis Friendship Festival, and all those guys, the Grand Illusion guys, are all close friends of mine, and they all kind of I asked them questions because with Kevin, he opened up with a lot of people, even his bandmates, they do other projects. So I kind of at one point when I was helping them out as a backstage guy at the Friendship Festival. I asked him and kind of picked his brain of, okay, well, I'm trying to do this. What do you think of doing this? Trying to pick his brain a little bit because he is a guy that not only can do one thing, but he can do a whole uh, genre of things, which I absolutely the time I spent with him doing that for the last few years that I was working with Friendship Festival in Bourbon, Illinois, um, I I honestly kept a lot of the stuff he said to mind and kind of molded my show around what he said. All those guys. Another friend of ours is a traveling radio show. I know you know them.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how you connected with those guys.
Yeah, so we met through a benefit we were doing for Circa, which is basically a organization that helps keeping the arts in Kankakee County. And they were a part of that, and I met all those guys. They're all amazing guys,
Love
and
those guys. Love them.
yeah, and I actually I spoke to them today, and we're all it doesn't matter if it's Styx or the Grand Illusion guys or Traveling Radio Show or I can name off a few on the top of my head that we're connected with. We all are about helping each other out and building up a repertoire where we can all learn from each other, and that's how music should be. Nowadays, with social media, people will post whatever they want on social media, and no matter who it is, it could be a manager, it could be whatever, an artist, and they're all really shitting on each other. I don't know if I can cuss on here. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay, but they're really crapping on each other on you know online about it doesn't matter what genre you're in, we all can learn from each other, and even if you're not in the same genre as like I do country, rock, pop, reggae, whatever. Traveling radio show does like country, like boondock country.
Like country, like yeah, they're
Country,
like
right?
they're
Country.
bringing country back. I mean,
Yes, but we all can learn from each other and build each other up, and that's what I love about the community in Champaign, in Kankakee County, Iroquois County, wherever I've been, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, all those communities kind of embraced what I do, and I still have a lot of connections with those guys, and it's cool to see the similarities from what you guys have in Champaign, what we have in Kankakee County, what they have in Iroquois County, and in the states, surrounding us, and what similarities we have and what differences we have, and we kind of talk about that too, which is it's kind of one of those things that I love that we can do that, as
yeah,
musicians, as promoters, as whatever it might be. So
it's necessary.
Yes,
It's,
100%.
it's great to have that backup and have that support system and encouragement and help promote. I know a lot of musicians that help promote other musicians.
Right.
Even,
I do that a
they
lot.
have, yeah, you do that a lot. You really do. I see that online. Um, and so speaking of traveling radio show and
Yes.
speaking of Kevin from the Sticks
Grand
Tribute
illusion.
Band.
Yeah.
Okay, so traveling radio show's going to be at Pippa's for their CD release party. Are you going to be there?
There might be a little bit of something going on with that. I can't confirm nor deny that.
Because I would love, I mean, I've not even met you in person yet.
No, we've only met through, yeah,
Yeah, through
right. But there
online.
might be a little bit of something boiling with that.
That'll be
And,
cool.
you know,
Also, are you going to be at the Styx tribute at the Cadillac?
I have a show that day and I'm so upset. But
Oh,
if I
yeah.
could be there, if I could be there, I would go there
Yeah.
100%.
Well, where's your show going to be?
I think that's one of my private shows that I'm doing in Valparaiso. But I mean, I'm gonna be all over the place. I mean, there's not a spot that I won't hit this summer. Between doing the Mantino Legion, and then being in Indiana, going back down to like Fair Oaks, Des Moines, I think is how you say it, Des Moines, Indiana. But I'm gonna be all over the place, and I'm always looking to not only do those shows, but add like those special shows that are last minute, which I love. Another like I go to Forest Fry, which is Champaign, Illinois. Um, oh, sorry, Forest Fry Taverns and Moments. Sorry, True Countries in Shanahan. So I'll be there a lot. Wine Cafe, which is in Wilmington, Illinois. I'll be there. So you're going to see a lot of me and a lot of these intimate moments with the smaller bars like the Wine Cafe and the Forest Sprite Tavern, where I'm telling stories of what I do and I'm kind of playing those songs and talking about myself being voted in the I did a contest not too long ago that I got voted in for the Rolling Stones, and during that, out of I forget how many Illinois musicians, I was voted top 1% of Illinois musicians in that contest, which is kind of cool. So I'll be telling stories about that, road life, what it's like, maybe some stories about different places that I played locally, or stuff like that to keep it intimate and have everyone not only on their feet, but you're learning a lot about the artist. You're learning a lot about the songs. You're learning about this, that, and it ends up being a good time. So
So
kind of excited.
you're engaging with people and the fans
Yes,
and
100%.
that. Yeah, and just kind of building a culture.
Oh yeah,
And you I think now you have merch.
I have
You have merch?
merchandise. Yes,
Okay. Send me your merch link.
I
Oh,
will.
I
I will
think it's
send it.
in I think it's in message. I think if you message you'll have this little message and then you have if you want to buy merch and there's the link. I think that's great. That's
Yes, 100%.
fantastic. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
So
and yeah, I mean, with my merchandise, I do it all myself. There's no, I used to have a guy that helped me with it, but then I kind of was like, I the music stuff's kind of my baby, so I'm taking a hold of that and I'm doing it all myself. And my beautiful girlfriend helps me with a lot of stuff. Her mom, my family, so I keep it like a family affair type thing, which is nice. I love it.
yeah, it's more cost effective that way as well.
Oh yeah, oh
You know,
100%.
because I know like musicians, like the more they do on their own terms, um, the less money they have to spend to have a
Right.
gig and be at a gig.
Well, even that, like I did, it was Oktoberfest in Mantino, and I made I think it was like 100 or 150 koozies, and I ran out of them in like 2 hours. People just wanted them, which was cool. And I had my logo on the front, and on the back I had a custom logo for the Oktoberfest, which it said Oktoberfest 2024, 2025. Oh, it's 2024. Sorry. Um, and then on the bottom of the koozie, it says, let's have a white trash weekend, which is a friend of mine's song, which I stole. He hates it, but I love it. But it said, let's have a white trash weekend. Because at that time, like I like doing little themes for my shows. So that was the white trash weekend, because it was a lot of festivals and
Yeah,
stuff. And
that's fun. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, then that brings us to what you're currently up to, and that's your music and your way and
Mhm.
booking gigs. And I recently shared a post of yours that said, we've got 10 minutes. Like, that's not what it said, but I'm telling you, we got 10 minutes.
Okay.
Um, but I recently shared a post that you had that you're open for booking. So you got some dates open this year, or how
Yeah.
far out are you booked so far?
So I have some dates open, and even if it's a date that I can't do, if people send me like, well, I want to do this date, this date, this date, this date, and a lot of bars do it now. If I can't do some of the dates, I'll say, well, I have this open, or I have this open, and 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh yeah, we'll book you for that date. So, which I enjoy. So.
Do you find it easier now that, I mean, what do you think about like venues responsive time?
So, I mean, with me traveling a lot, it just varies. Like around Kinky County, they're very on top of some. Okay, let me put it this way: some bars are very on top of things, but a lot of bars reach out to me, say, "Hey, like I heard you were playing down the street. We want you." That's how I got into Roadhouse Grill in Des Moines, Indiana. That's how I got into doing stuff in Indianapolis. That's how I got doing stuff in, I call it Bedrock, but Bedford, Indiana, which is kind of near IU area. So, I mean, I love that people are starting to see my stuff on social media because of people posting it out, buying the merchandise, coming to the shows, taking pictures with me, and I even did a special needs show, which it was for autism, where there was no like the lights behind me, there was no lights, no sound, nothing. It was me and a
I,
guitar. And I took a lot of pictures, and the kids actually made drawings of me, and they wanted me to sign them. So I
oh
signed a
my God,
few of
I
them, and
love that.
yeah.
That's,
So
oh God, that's
yes.
amazing. That's
Oh
beautiful.
yeah. Yeah. And I've gotten people that have sent me stuff either through the mail or through Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And they're like little stupid memes of me. Like one of them was my face on Kelly Clarkson's body, me on Jelly Roll's body. And I just love that kind of humor. And, that's just one of those things that it because
I
I
love
love
that
silly
because
stuff.
yeah. Well, because I mean, you mentioned in our first podcast that you love to make people laugh.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, and you like to joke around and do that kind of thing. So that's so perfect. I love that so much. That's great. Um,
100%.
so what's your very next gig?
My
Next
very
one
next
up?
gig, actually coming up soon. I'm gonna be this Friday. I'm gonna be at Knights of Columbus in Kankakee. Um, and then Saturday, I have a private show in the afternoon at the not Moments, Mantino Veterans Home. I'm doing an hour with them, and then that night I'm gonna be at Wine Cafe in Wilmington. So there's a lot of dates that I'm going to be traveling around and playing music and all that. So if you want to see where I'm going to be at, I'm usually good at it. Sometimes I kind of stink, and my girlfriend goes, "Hey, you didn't post that date." I'm like, ah, crap. So I'm like,
Yeah.
but most of the time I'm on top of things. But you can go to facebook.com/Jake Vaughn Music. All my stuff is there, and you can buy my merch through the link. You can see sample videos. You can book me. You can do a little bit of everything on my link. So make sure you are going there and supporting local. Well, I'm a local business, so supporting local, supporting your favorite bands, your favorite podcast, as I'm doing now, and
Thank you.
supporting local because at one point and I mentioned Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll was the guy who was doing local music, and then stuff started picking up, and now he's doing amazing stuff. And even like Kane Brown is doing stuff, and a friend of
Yeah,
mine, Gary
you
Puckett.
don't know, but your foundation and your support is huge. The support for you comes from local.
Oh,
So,
100%.
for you musicians to also support the local businesses and the local areas and venues and that
Oh
kind of
yeah.
thing. It's always a, give and take both sides. We don't have much time left, but I do want to say, I will have all of the links to connect with you at this on the end of this podcast.
Okay.
It's been awesome reconnecting with you and doing this podcast.
Thank
Uh,
you so
and
much.
and seeing just how on fire you are, and you're continuing to inspire, and you're continuing to make people laugh and
Oh,
having a good
100%.
time, helping out, the veterans, and that's what I love about you. So,
Well, thank you. I love well, and I love like the local scene too, with either with the TV shows or the podcasts, because we can only do so much following wise. We can only push out so much stuff, and a lot of it because of social media. Sometimes um, it gets
not
shadow
as much
banned.
attention. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it gets you know so having multiple outlets, see bands and fans have always been friends of mine, see I living TV, web sessions, the local bars, they all push out my stuff. Even if I'm not playing there, they push out my stuff, and it means it means a lot to me, because it tells me I'm doing something right with either the community or whatever. And even doing, excuse me, April Grooves Day, which is coming up soon. I'll be playing at the Majestic Theater, the legendary Majestic Theater in Kankakee. We, when I mean we, the artists that are going to be there working, all we want to do is support local and help those young artists out. On my stage, the headliner is a kid. He's 11 years old, and you would swear he's the next Stevie Ray Vaughan. Like
Are you
that's
gonna have video of that?
100%. I will take videos and stuff,
Yeah,
and I'll
get some
send it to
video
you.
of that. I want to see that. Tag me in that.
I
I
will
want to see that.
100%.
Yeah.
And
Um,
yeah, so I'm glad I got to talk to you again. And I'm sad your partner in crime didn't show up, because
yeah,
he
me too.
probably
I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe we had to work overtime or something. It's really kind of unusual. But I
yeah,
hope he's okay. I'm sure that he is. I don't know what happened with Zach tonight, but
he took a
we'll
nap.
have him on.
Okay.
We'll have him back. Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much, Jake, and stay on after we stop recording. So at least
I
you and I
will.
can get a selfie since I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
100%.
maybe like AI put Zach in.
Hey, I put Zach. Yeah.
Or you do that sentence. That'd be hilarious.
Oh my gosh, I can do different backgrounds too.
Yeah.
So we'll have
Yeah.
to mess with that.
That would be funny. All right. Listen, y'all. Go to these links, buy the merch, follow the musician, support comes in so many ways, right, Jake?
Oh, 100%.
Doesn't
Sharing
not
the
necessarily this way or that way. It's so many ways that you can support a musician.
Right. Even if you can't, if you don't want to buy the merch, you don't like something, or just sharing stuff on
Yes.
Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok, whatever it might be, and even taking pictures with the artist. 100%. If you come up to me and say, "Hey, can I have a picture with you?" 100%. Why
It's
wouldn't
gonna
I?
happen. We're gonna do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've had a couple when I was down, and this is probably the last thing because we're running out of time. But I had a couple down in Indianapolis, or Bedford, Indiana, who they saw me play, and they're like, "Hey, I know this is probably a bug, but is it okay if we take a picture with you, her and her husband?" I said, "Yeah, 100%." So we took a picture. I said, "Hold on, let's do another one." So then I'm holding her, and I had the husband at arm's length, and they love that. And that's the thing about musicians, like we can connect on so many different levels, and I love it.
And have fun. And
Yeah.
other people are having fun. All right, we gotta go. All right.